Before we kick off tonight's Soccer Bedtime Story, a huge thank you to our bedtime ballers, our monthly supporters who help keep this podcast going strong for soccer-loving families around the world. If you love what we do and want to help us tell more stories, consider joining the team by becoming a bedtime baller at soccerbedtimestories.com or in the link in the show notes. It's like buying us a warm stadium pretzel or a halftime hot dog. But instead of filling your belly, you're fueling stories, dreams, and magical soccer evenings. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at MySoccerBedtime to catch exclusive content, bedtime shoutouts, and opportunities to chat with your soccer friends. All right, boots off, blankets on. It's time for tonight's story. Hello, soccer friend. Before we begin, we want to send a warm shout out to all of our wonderful listeners. Whether you're snuggled under blankets, sharing this moment with family, or listening quietly on your own, we're so glad you're here with us tonight. Let us know in the comments where you are listening from. We love to see all the different places our stories reach. As the night settles in and the stars begin to glow, it's time to leave behind the noise of the day and drift into the world where magic lives, with a soccer ball at hand. Tonight's story begins far from bright trophies and flashing cameras. It begins in a place that feels small and ordinary. Quiet neighborhood, familiar streets, and the kind of backyard space where a ball can bounce and become a best friend. Somewhere nearby, an English bulldog snores softly, wrinkly-faced and loyal, like a little guardian of the evening. The house smells like home, the world feels safe, and yet, inside this calm, there is a secret. Because the person at the center of our story doesn't look like the kind of player who takes over a stadium. She's not the loudest in the room. She doesn't chase attention. She's the kind of person who might offer a shy smile and say, sorry, even when it isn't her fault, and slip past the crowd before anyone realizes she was there. But when the ball rolls to her feet, everything changes. Before the medals, before the World Cup nights, before the biggest stages in the world, in places where the grass is green and the crowds are loud, there's only a quiet kid, a bouncing ball, and a dream that refused to sit still. This is the story of patience and brilliance, of soft-spoken courage, of a kind of magic that doesn't shout, it glides. So tuck in, close your eyes, and let the sound of the ball lead you there. Icons, Rose Lavelle. Rosemary Kathleen Lavelle grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio. The third of 4 children in a home filled with siblings, movement and familiar voices calling from room to room. Her parents, Marty and Janet, were steady and low-key, the kind of people who carried themselves quietly until something they loved lit them up. They loved their city. They loved the Natty. They loved Skyline Chili, Grater's Ice Cream, and long meals at Montgomery Inn, and they passed that love of home onto their children without ever making a big show of it. Rose was surrounded by family, always, but she herself was often quiet. Not distant, just thoughtful. The kind of kid who watched closely before stepping in, who listened before speaking. She didn't rush her words, even when her body was already moving ahead of her. While the house buzzed around her, Rose learned to carry her calm inside her, a steadiness that would one day follow her onto the field. And move it did. Rose never liked sitting. Even as a baby, she was climbing, flipping, escaping straps and boundaries as if they were polite suggestions. Motion felt natural to her, like breathing. When soccer found its way into her life, it didn't feel like a new activity. It felt like recognition. Something inside her had finally been given a shape. In 3rd grade, she was asked to write a book report. Other kids chose animals or famous inventors. Rose chose Mia Hamm. It was a quiet choice, but a telling one. Even then, she wasn't dreaming randomly. She was dreaming with intention. She played club soccer around Cincinnati, first with the Sycamore United, then with Lakota Lightning, and later with Cincinnati United Premier, moving from field to field as she grew, and everywhere she went, adults noticed the same thing again and again. Rose was small, often the smallest on the field. People worried about her size, about whether she would be okay out there among bigger, stronger players. But the ball didn't seem concerned. The ball kept finding her feet, and Rose kept finding solutions. When she was about 8 years old, she began training with Neil Bradford, a coach who had shaped the way she understood the game. He didn't teach her to be louder or tougher. He taught her how to think. Footwork, balance, vision. How to turn away from pressure instead of running straight into it. How to use deception instead of force. Rose called these skills her tricks, not because they were flashy, but because they helped her escape. They gave her freedom. By the time she reached Mount Notre Dame High School, the quiet kid had become the player everyone talked about on the sidelines. Goals came regularly, awards followed. She was named Cincinnati's Player of the Year and finished her high school career as her team's leading scorer. Still, she stayed herself, polite, soft-spoken, quick to apologize, even while doing things on the field that left people shaking their heads in disbelief. College took her to the University of Wisconsin, where soccer became something heavier and colder and more demanding. Early mornings, long sessions, legs that ached in ways that never had before. Rose started right away and kept improving. Year after year, she earned conference honors and national recognition. More importantly, she learned how to stay calm when the game pressed hardest. She learned how to wait for the right moment. In 2017, she heard her name called first in the NWSL draft. First overall. It sounded like arrival. It sounded like the end of a long journey. But soccer, like life, rarely moves in straight lines. Her professional career with the Boston Breakers began with promise and interruption. A hamstring injury took away rhythm and time. Just as she began to settle, the team folded. The place she had worked so hard to reach disappeared. Rose didn't complain. She adjusted. She always did. She moved on to the Washington Spirit, where her career became a series of returns, injuries, international duty, limited minutes, long stretches of watching instead of playing, rehab rooms instead of stadium lights. It would have been easy to shrink, to disappear quietly. Sometimes she almost did. At the same time, another part of her life was unfolding just as quietly. Rose had never been a youth national team star. She hadn't worn the crest as a teenager, but she believed, without ever announcing it, that she would play for the United States. In 2015, while still at Wisconsin, she was invited to train with the senior U.S. women's national team. It wasn't a promise, just a door slightly open. Rose stepped through. Her first cap came in 2017 at the SheBelieves Cup against England. The United States lost the match, but Rose was named player of the match. It was the beginning of a pattern. She didn't dominate with noise. She clarified and dominated with touch. Then injuries returned, harder this time. Hamstrings that wouldn't heal cleanly, months of uncertainty. When she finally came back, she played cautiously, passing early, trying to be helpful instead of brave. She wanted to belong. She wanted to fit in. It was Megan Rapinoe who finally said what Rose needed to hear. "You help us most when you play like you." The sentence stayed with her. By the time World Cup qualifying arrived in 2018, Rose had reclaimed herself. She played every match, scored 3 goals, and found the net early in the final against Canada. The United States lifted the trophy and Rose stepped fully into her place. In 2019 World Cup in France was where the world truly met Rose Lavelle. She moved through games like a secret passage, like a labyrinth, slipping between defenders, drawing fouls, creating moments that felt gentle and devastating at the same time. She scored twice against Thailand. She drew the penalty that passed the U.S. past Spain. And in the final, against the Netherlands, she carried the ball forward and struck from outside the box. A goal in the World Cup final. When the tournament ended, Rose was awarded the bronze ball, named the 3rd best player in the world on the biggest stage soccer has to offer. She left France a world champion, still soft-spoken, still polite, still unmistakably herself. The years that followed brought more tests. At the Tokyo Olympics, the United States earned bronze, and Rose played every match, steady and reliable. In 2023, another World Cup ended early with injuries and suspension, keeping her from helping where she wanted to most. It hurt, but soccer always leaves room for return. In Paris, 2024, Rose returned to the Olympic stage and helped the United States win gold. By then, she had earned over 100 caps, appearances for the United States, a quiet symbol of trust, resilience, and consistency. Her club story found its perfect chapter soon after. With the New Jersey-New York Gotham FC, patience was required once again. Injury delayed her debut, and she spent weeks watching from the sidelines, waiting for the rhythm of the season to find her. She trained quietly, trusted the process, and let the game come back to her in its own time. When she returned the way she always did, calm, unharried, and decisive when it mattered most. A stoppage time equalizer that felt like a gentle rescue, a playoff winner buried deep into added minutes when legs were heavy and belief was thinning. It was as if she saved her brightest moments for the very last second. And then came the final. The 2025 NWSL Championship unfolded slowly, tightly, every touch carrying weight. Late in the match, Brunina surged down the left wing, driving forward with purpose, the ball clinging to her feet as defenders scrambled to recover. She lifted her head just long enough to spot it, space opening at the top of the box. The cross whirled inward, soft but urgent, slicing through the night air. Rose was already there. She stepped into the ball without haste, met it cleanly, and struck from the edge of the area. The shot flew true, skimming forward with quiet certainty before finding the net. One touch, one goal, one moment that decided everything. The whistle soon followed. Gotham were champions. Rose was named championship MVP. Away from the field, she stayed just as she always was, soft-spoken, Midwest kind, an extroverted introvert, most at ease at home, with a wrinkly-faced bulldog curled nearby, breathing slowly through the quiet. Fame never changed who she was. It simply followed her there. On the field, she became something else entirely. A quiet force, a reminder that strength doesn't always roar to be real. Sometimes it moves softly, slips past the rush, and leaves defenders guessing before settling gently into the back of the net. And that is the lesson she leaves behind. You don't have to be the loudest voice to matter. You don't have to rush or push or shout to be strong. You can move with patience. You can trust your way of being. You can let your work speak for you. Now, the stadium fades. The cheers soften into echoes. The grass cools beneath a sky scattered with stars. Let your dreams wander through clever turns and calm courage. Let them follow a path shaped not by noise, but by belief. Sleep well and dream big, soccer friend. Hey there, are you still awake? Here's a quiz for you about our story, chronicling the life and the game of Rose Lavelle. Question 1. Where did the Rose Lavelle grow up? A. Los Angeles, California. B. Cincinnati, Ohio. C. New York City. 2. Which skill helped Rose succeed even when she was often the smallest on the field? A. Physical strength and size. B. Clever footwork, balance, and finding space. Or C. Long throw-ins and headers. Number 3. How did Rose score the winning goal in the 2025 NWSL Championship? A. By taking a penalty kick at the end of the match. B. By finishing a cross from the left wing with calm precision. C. By scoring directly from a corner kick. Ready for the answers? Rose Lavelle grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio. B. Question 2. Her clever footwork and balance helped her succeed. And number 3. Rose scored the winning goal in the NWSL Championship when she connected with a Bruninha cross from the left wing. Let me know how you did on the quiz. If you missed some or can't remember, it's okay. You can go back to the end of this. You can go back to the beginning of the story. Send us a message with how you did. Talk to you soon, friends. Bye. Thanks for joining us under the stars. If tonight's story brought you joy, here are 3 simple ways to keep the magic going. 1. Become a bedtime baller. Support the podcast for the cost of a stadium churro or a match day snack at soccerbedtimestories.com. You can find the link in the show notes as well. 2. Follow us on Instagram at MySoccerBedtime. We'd love to see where you listen, who your favorite players are, or even what bedtime looks like at your house. 3. Read the biggest soccer adventure so far. Grab a Soccer Mystery Chronicles, The Haunting of St. Mary's Stadium, and dive into the world of haunted tunnels, hidden relics, and brave sisters solving the game's greatest mystery. With your support, we'll keep telling the stories that help kids and adults fall asleep dreaming of goals, teamwork, and faraway stadiums. Sleep well and dream big, soccer friends.